The cash envelope system is a very popular budgeting tool for personal finances, but did you know that it actually can work for your business too? This is a great tool to implement if you are a business owner that feels like your money is out of control, you never know where it's going, and you aren't able to save up to pay for the things that you actually want to purchase inside of your business. And don't worry, it doesn't actually involve carrying around envelopes full of cash. I personally never use cash and hate handling it, so this system is completely digital, but it can revolutionize the way you handle your business finances. First, let's talk about what the cash envelope system is. It's a popular budgeting tool for personal finances where you give every dollar a job. Basically, any money that comes into your bank account from your business or your work is given a specific purpose. Those specific purposes are things like groceries, gas, home expenses. So you write what it's for on an envelope, then you stuff your cash in the envelope, and then when you're out and about, you look inside your envelope, you see if there's cash there, and if there is, you can make a purchase for that category. If there's no money in your envelope, if it's empty, then you are done spending until that envelope gets refilled. This is just a very easy way to visually see what money you have, and when it runs out, you have a hard stopping point to stop spending. It works very well for people on the personal side, but how do you implement it in business? You actually do the same thing, you just have very different purposes for your money. On the business side, if you want to implement a cash envelope system, you would give your envelopes or your accounts a name for the purpose that money is going to be used for. Those envelopes would be very different on the business side than gas and groceries. They would instead be for categories like owner's compensation, taxes, payroll, savings, and emergency reserves. The specific envelopes you use in your business system would look very different, but they would be for things that your business needs to spend money on in the future. That way, when you need to actually use the money, you can look in that account, in that envelope, and see that the money is there. Then you're ready to spend. A lot of business owners will get tripped up in the part where they have to allocate money into the envelopes. They don't quite know how much to put in each envelope. It's a little bit different when you're budgeting your personal money versus your business, but there are some systems that have been proven to work out there that you can implement in your business to make it a little bit easier. One of those systems is the Profit First method, based on a really popular business budgeting book, and it's super simple to implement and the percentages are very easy to understand. This system basically says that you have these cash envelopes or these accounts that are acting as cash envelopes, and you put a certain percentage of all revenue that comes into your business into those envelopes. There are 4 of those accounts. First is profit, and you put 5 to 10% into the profit envelope so that you're able to set aside money and build a financial cushion and pay yourself profit bonuses every quarter or however often you decide. That just makes sure that you get the profit on top of anything that is going to be in the next account, which is owner's compensation. This is 30 to 50% of all the revenue that comes in. So this 30 to 50% of revenue will cover your owner's salary and any other compensation that you need to take care of. And the next account is taxes, which is 15 to 25% of your revenue that comes into your business so that you can set it aside to pay for taxes on your business income. Definitely don't skip this one. You can play around with the others, but do not skip having a taxes account or envelope so that you are setting aside this money. It's very important. And for solopreneurs and people that are just getting started in business, this is often one that they don't fund enough, and it should be your number one priority. And then finally is operating expenses. This is 30 to 65% of your revenue that comes in, and this is for your day-to-day business costs and any expenses that you have. With this system, money is going into these accounts based on the percentage. So no matter how much income you're bringing in, there's always something going into these accounts. It is building up money in these envelopes so that when the time comes and you need to use that money to pay for an expense or to pay yourself, the money is there. Let's talk about doing this digitally, because a lot of us don't want to actually carry around cash or have cash envelopes in the physical sense. Implementing this cash envelope budgeting system with your business is super simple with Relay. Relay Relay is the fintech company that I use for my business banking needs, and they have made this envelope system digital and easy. The reason why Relay is my favorite business banking tool is because they let you set up this system easily, and they let you open up to 20 different checking accounts and up to 2 different savings accounts so that you can put money into savings and actually earn interest on that money for those different purposes as you're building up the cash you need for the future expense. With Relay, you can open up all of these different accounts and give them a name and a purpose, and because they are actual accounts, they have their own accounting and routing number, so you don't have to just shuffle money around all of the time. You can use them as a true cash envelope system. You have the account with the name of the purpose for that money, and when money goes into that account, it can stay there until you're ready to use the card attached to that specific account. This makes it feel like a true envelope system because you have those individual accounts, and it makes budgeting in your business so much easier. It truly revolutionized the way I handled my finances personally with my business, and I think it will do that for a lot of other business owners out there. This is a very easy to implement system, so let's talk about how you set up your digital envelopes in Relay. The first thing you do is obviously create an account at Relay. If you use my link in the description box, you will get a $100 bonus when you sign up and deposit $100 in a new account. So once you have your account set up, then you can get into your Relay account and start creating these digital envelopes for your money. The first thing you do is create an account, then you give that account a name. Whether it's for operating expenses or for payroll, you just need to name it so that you know the purpose for that account. Then you choose whether it's going to be checking or savings, so you need to decide what accounts you want to have for a savings account so that they can earn a little bit of interest, or if they will be sitting for a long time without being used, choose savings for that, and then checking for the other more oftenly used accounts. Next, you transfer your money into the account, and then you can also set up auto transfer rules, which allow you to set up those percentage-based systems that I talked about earlier in the video. Then you create virtual or physical cards tied to that specific account. This allows you to spend using the cards from Relay so that they pull directly from those individual accounts. So if you are purchasing something that is an expense in your business, you would pull out that operating expense card and use that to make the purchase. It will immediately draw from your operating expenses, so that envelope gets a little bit smaller. That's how you use the money as a digital envelope versus having an actual cash envelope that you have to pull the cash out of. So that way you're able to just use those cards that have a purpose and are tied to that account that matches. Relay also has some really great tools where you can limit the spending on those cards, and that's great if you have team members that are using the cards and are purchasing things in a specific category, how much you're spending in a certain account. So you can set up all of those in the back end at Relay. That will create automation, so there is a limit, a hard limit that stops spending after you hit that. And they have a lot of other automations like the auto transfer rules I mentioned. When you are setting up an account for funding, you can set up these auto transfer rules so that when money hits your main account, it is then automatically transferred based on percentages that you set. Honestly, this makes it so much easier. I used to do the system for my business finances manually, and I would just transfer money based on a percentage every time I had revenue come into my account, and it was a pain. Having to do it manually and keep a spreadsheet separately was just not the way to do it, and I love that Relay has made everything automated so that it's much simpler. Setting up these rules is super simple. You can use the profit first method by taking those percentages or create your own. This is super customizable, so you don't have to use a set system. You can choose how much goes into each account and when. I personally like to do it either weekly or bi-weekly. So every time money comes in, let's say on Friday, every single Friday, you can have Relay automatically transfer money from that main account over a certain amount, like $5,000. Anything over $5,000 then gets transferred on Friday. So you would be able to set up a rule that says 50% will go to owner's compensation every Friday, and then 30% will go to operating expenses every Friday, and then 20% of all that revenue will go toward your taxes account every Friday. So then you're getting that money into all of those envelopes, into all of those accounts, so that the money's there when you need to use it. Of course, you can really customize this a lot. If you have debt to repay on your business, you could create an account specifically for debt repayments so that you have the money to make those payments when you need to. If you want to add charitable giving to your business, you could also create an envelope or an account for that. So that way money is being set aside that you can then give to charities as you decide. Basically, you can create the setup that fits your goals and your business needs, and then it's completely automated with Relay's functionality. This system is the best because once you get it set up, it is completely something you can forget. Set it and forget it, walk away, and then Relay does all of the back end stuff so that money is going into all of your envelopes, and based on your percentages, you're building up money in your envelopes that then you can go use in the real world for your actual expenses and your taxes and for paying yourself. It makes it super simple. It also eliminates a lot of the decision fatigue that business owners often get trapped in. So you don't have to second guess whether you have money for something or not. You don't have to sit and think and crunch numbers if you want to make a purchase. You can just look in your envelope, look at your balance, see how much money is in there, and then you can say yes to something or not yet to something. You don't have to do a lot of mental guesswork and trying to figure out, do I have money for this or not? Because it makes it very clear based on those envelopes, based on your account balances, what you have to spend. So if your envelope is empty, if you've spent everything and you're looking at it, you have to say no, not yet. I have to wait on this purchase, or you have to bring in more revenue to fill that back up. It's super simple, and honestly, I think a lot of people think it's too simple for business and you have to make a much more complicated system, but you don't. You can make this as simple as an envelope system and make your business work for you. You can focus on what you're good at your actual skill, at your actual trade, instead of worrying about whether you have money for expenses and how your business banking is set up. It's just not something you need to spend a lot of time on. Set up the system that will make it easy and then go about making more money. The cash envelope system for your business will cut down on mental fatigue and making those decisions, and it will make it so much easier to control your cash flow. If you want to use Relay to implement this system, I do have my affiliate link in the description box, so you can use that to get $100 on your new account when you fund it with at least $100. And yes, while this is a sponsored video and I have an affiliate link, I do personally also use Relay for my own business, and that is why I'm such a big fan of them and do videos like this, because I think it's a great system that can help other business owners. I've unfortunately had friends that started a business and had so much excitement only to fail in a couple years because of cash flow and not having enough money for expenses. So I really want to help others not end up like that. If you have any questions about implementing the cash envelope system for your own business, drop a comment and I will try to answer as many as I can, and then watch this video next.